Does distance Reiki really work? I get this question a lot, so let's talk about it. Many people assume that Reiki or any kind of energy healing can only happen if you actually show up in person and there's a massage table waiting for you. You probably know what I'm talking about, right? So my client Sarah, she used to think so too. And this idea of trying Reiki virtually or remotely, it held her back for a long time. Hi, I'm Deborah, and as a Reiki master, a quantum healer, and hypnotist, I've worked with so many people over the years using Distance Reiki. I've taught it to hundreds of students how to do this powerful technique. And I'm going to share what Distance Reiki is, how it works, and what it can help you with. Plus, I'm going to share a real life example from my client and my own personal story about learning and using this technique. Sound good? Okay, so let's dive in and let's get back to Sarah. So she'd spent years feeling stuck in cycles that weren't working, relationship patterns she couldn't break, and confidence issues she just couldn't tap into to ask for that raise. And she was juggling too many deadlines in her high pressure job, trying to squeeze in a social life when she could, and navigating a hectic New York City subway commute. And it was overwhelming. She felt like she just didn't have enough time to fit everything in. Maybe you can relate. So getting to a midtown office for Reiki felt like just one more thing to try and fit into her already packed to-do list. So she kept putting it off. And this was in addition to the thought of facing rush hour and the chaotic energy of the city after her sessions of deep relaxation. So when would she ever actually make time for this? Newsflash, she wouldn't. But what if energy healing could meet you wherever you are without adding more stress? I explained to her that Distance Reiki, it's an energy healing technique original to the system of Reiki when it was created back in Japan in the 1920s. And it's all about working with what we call spiritual energy, which in Japanese is called ki, and there's other names for it like prana or chi, life force energy, depending on the tradition and culture, like yoga, acupuncture, tai chi, martial arts, like qigong. This energy flows through every living thing, including you. So Distance Reiki is incredibly effective for reducing stress, which, as you probably know, is linked to 85% of all health challenges. It can relieve pain, improve sleep, help you balance your emotions, one of my favorites, so that you can feel calmer and more confident in your day-to-day life. And it's especially helpful when you're navigating relationship or family challenges, or managing big life transitions like career changes or a big move, or dealing with grief. And if you're juggling the demands of work, family, everything else on your plate, Distance Reiki can help you find that much needed sense of calm and balance. And that best part is you don't need to squeeze in a commute or rearrange your whole day. So Distance Reiki, it meets you right where you are, literally, helping you find relief without adding to your already busy to-do list. And the reality is that this technique allows me as the practitioner to transmit Reiki without you needing to be in the same room or even the same geographic location, so that you can release that pressure in your chest and soften those places where you feel stuck, and even bring the healing vibes right into your home. And one of the best parts is that you have that time after your sessions to integrate our work and the Reiki energy more deeply. Maybe you'll even take a quick nap. And ultimately, this revitalizes that energy flowing in your body, in your life, so that you can better go after those goals that you've been wanting. So back to my client, Sarah. As we work together using Distance Reiki as one of the holistic methods that I use in my one-on-one soul-powered breakthrough program, Sarah shared that she instantly felt a lift in her self-esteem and loved having tools that she could use anytime she needed to work through something. And get this, she found our virtual sessions even more powerful than in-person ones that she tried before. I hear this a lot. Now, let me share a little bit about my own experience when I first learned the Distance Reiki technique. So during the Reiki 2 class, that's when you learn this technique, We were paired up to practice the technique, and each of us, we had to make a specific request of what we wanted the Distance Reiki technique to help us with. And I had been dealing with a cold. I was pretty stuffy and congested, so I asked for help with that to find some relief from that congestion. And so to practice, we separated from our partner. We went to different floors of the building where the training was held, so we weren't near each other. In other words, creating that distance. And even though I was already really into Reiki, I loved it, I loved learning it, I was amazed when my stuffy nose cleared right away and I could finally breathe clearly for the first time in days. And so I was feeling inspired and encouraged, plus we had to practice as part of the training. So I asked my next door neighbor who had thrown out his back. He was feeling pretty desperate, as you can imagine. So I offered to help him. Let me try this Distance Reiki technique. I'll be next door. And after the session, he said, sure. And so after the session, he was actually able to sit and stand without pain for the first time in several days. So this is just some examples of how the Distance Reiki technique works. And how does it actually work? So from a traditional Japanese perspective, Distance Reiki, sometimes it's called Absentee Reiki, Virtual Reiki, they are all names that mean the same thing. It is about focusing from a state of oneness, that feeling of connection to everything and everyone beyond the limits of time and space. And as the practitioner, I'm not sending you Reiki. Instead, it's more about feeling one with another person and sharing Reiki in this way. It's a little hard to describe, but this oneness state is often experienced and described in different kinds of meditation practices and traditions. And it also applies to other kinds of distance healing like Dao hands, which is a quantum healing technique that I also use. So with Distance Reiki, I act as the channel for the energy to flow through, clearing and strengthening the meridians, the chakras, the energy pathways, or the energy centers in the body, according to what you need in your body's intelligence, so it knows where the energy is needed. And while many people experience different things, it's different from person to person. So you might feel that physical sensation like warmth or tingling, or relief from physical symptoms like my neighbor with the back pain, or me with my stuffy nose. Or you might feel the mind calming down, that stronger connection to your intuition. This is my personal favorite. I've had several people compare it to the feeling of helping someone get you into that quiet space of meditation, especially when they find it really hard or even impossible to meditate. It kind of helps you have that support to get there. There's no right or wrong way to experience Distance Reiki. It varies from person to person, session to session. And I particularly love it because I can combine it with other healing tools like hypnosis and quantum healing in a way that I couldn't in person with my Reiki sessions years ago. So in this way, it's even more flexible than that hands-on in-person Reiki. So I'm curious, if you've tried Distance Reiki, share a little bit about your experience in the comments. I'd love to hear. And if you're curious and you want to learn more about this, I put together a guide to Distance Reiki. So just type in that word distance and I'll send it your way. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more videos like this. It really helps out a lot so other people can learn more about these healing techniques. And I look forward to supporting you so that you can flow confidently at work and the rest of your life. And I look forward to connecting with you again soon.